Hi everyone, this is the first of a series of weekly videos reflecting on God's Word and how it calls us to live through the coronavirus crisis. And today I'm going to be thinking about a question that was asked hundreds of years ago by God's people as they endured a terrible crisis of their own. And the question was, how can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a foreign land? They were in really difficult circumstances. The land had been invaded and overrun. Their capital city had been destroyed. Many of them had been taken as captives into Babylon. Everything that was central to who they were had been taken away. The basis of their identity had been challenged. Their captors were tormenting them by asking them to sing songs of their homeland. But the sort of songs they used to sing spoke about their nation, spoke about Jerusalem as being a place of blessing and prosperity. And so the songs just didn't seem relevant anymore. They would have reminded them of what they had lost. We are not in that situation. We are still in our own country. We are still, most of us, able to live in our own houses. Our government is still leading our nation. But many things have changed. People are becoming ill. Sadly, some are dying. We are all being told to stay at home, apart from a few very specific reasons. Contact with others is significantly reduced. Work patterns are being changed. Family life is different. Physically meeting together as church is currently not possible. We are not in a foreign land, but our country is incredibly different to what it was a few weeks ago, and change continues. Restrictions are becoming tighter. How are we as God's people to continue to sing the songs of the Lord? And it is vitally important that we do. Here are 3 suggestions. The psalm goes on in verse 5 and 6 to speak about the importance of remembering Jerusalem, and by implication, the God who had chosen Jerusalem as his dwelling place. Behind this is the reality that God was still sovereign. God was still working out his purposes, and it was vitally important for them to stay focused on him. As the opportunities for meeting together are reduced, it is vitally important that we each find ways of keeping our own focus on God and staying close to him. The book of Ezekiel opens with Ezekiel coming to where the exiles were gathered and seeing visions of God. He speaks about a time when he was with the exiles, when he says, "The heavens were opened and I saw visions of God." We are already finding new ways of connecting, of sharing, both as church together and in small online groups. So important to do. And we will continue to explore new ways of making this possible. And when we do meet together like this, let's seek and expect deep experiences of God to hear what he's saying to us at this time. And the story of Daniel tells of various occasions when God's people in exile were able to live in such a way that caused their captors to recognize the power and the glory of God. There was a time when a king said to Daniel, "Surely your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries, for you are able to reveal this mystery." Even in the midst of this crisis, maybe even more so, we have the responsibility to point people to Jesus and show them how wonderful he is. So, even as we live in strange and unfamiliar situations, let's stay focused on God. Let's encourage each other as we meet in different ways. And let's continue to show Jesus to others by our actions and words. And may God continue to richly bless us all.